Hey, welcome back to Jade's Fitness Bucket List. It was only a matter of time until I was going to start gymnastics, and finally the time is right. I remember being fascinated as a child or a teenager watching the other girls in my school do gymnastics, but always thinking I was too old to start. I always thought that I'd missed the boat. Since beginning gymnastics as an adult, I think one of the greatest things that we have to consider now is fear. I'm genuinely a person who doesn't like to take massive risks with my body physically, just because I really value my fitness and staying active and going to the gym. So whenever I am injured, and if you are a follower of my YouTube videos, you've probably seen I'm injured a lot of the time. I just never want to risk it, because when I do get injured, I end up spending months and months in physio and rehab to get better, and my mental health really suffers because I can't go to the gym and work out like I usually do. So fear has been a massive factor for me with adult gymnastics, and it's been very difficult trying to overcome the mental side of me just fearing the fear of injury, with also balancing the fact that if I don't try, then I'm never going to get any better. I've begun adult gymnastics this year, literally just a month ago, and I already felt that my foundation was pretty good, only because I've been doing calisthenics now for a few years, which incorporates lots of elements of gymnastics, things like any kind of plyometric dynamic moves, and then just general moves that I've learned throughout the years, playing about and pretending I'm a child again in the calisthenics parks that for me are just like adult playgrounds. It's always really interesting getting to know your body in a way that you didn't know it before. So I found out that I have really good spine flexibility. So that's great. But bridges for me are still difficult because I have very restricted shoulder mobility, which I have known for quite a few years now while trying to learn handstands. I find it really difficult to have my arms completely open. So they're always slightly bent, like the shoulders are also slightly forward instead of being completely up, and that restricts me quite a lot in bridges, which now I'm learning forward walkover and backwards walkovers as well, and that's been a massive factor that's holding me back. So I'm trying to work more on opening my shoulders, because I need that anyway for handstands, but also for handsprings. 99.9% of adults, forgive me if I'm wrong, but this is from my own experience, they tend to say that they want to learn gymnastics so that they can learn the backflip. Obviously, backflip is in my a never-ending list of goals to learn, but that will be in some time. I do feel like the handspring is quite close now. So I'm trying to get over my fear of jumping. I still can't really do tucks well. I haven't tried doing a backflip or any kind of flips or anything like that on trampoline either, just because I've seen lots of people have nasty injuries where they don't quite make the full rotation and then they land on their neck. And that's a no. A lot of my injuries are to do with my neck as well, so I don't want to tempt fate there. But yeah, I feel like handspring is getting there. So now I've been doing gymnastics once a week for a month, so literally only had 4 sessions. I have had one private session about 2-3 years ago where I managed to learn to do a walkover backwards, which was really cool. Prior to that, I'd already taught myself how to do one forwards in the park, or the playground as I like to call it. It's messy, but it's something. From the clips, you'll be able to see that I remove height more and more until my feet are on the ground, and then manage to flip over. And I was so proud of that, but unfortunately, I gained an injury. I had to stop literally after my first lesson, and then I haven't been able to replicate that backwards walkover, but I can do the forwards walkover. I need to learn to do that more gracefully, perhaps landing the bridge on one foot and then being able to get up from there. Because at the moment, I do a handstand, land into a bridge, and then have to maneuver my way up. And then a backflip is just a handspring, but without your arms, right? How hard could it be? living in London, capital city of the UK, but also one of the biggest well-known cities of the world, it's been really hard to find adult gymnastics sessions. Before, I only knew of 2 places that did adult gymnastics sessions, either one-to-one group or open floor sessions to practice. And they were like literally on the outskirts of London. There are a few places that don't call it adult gymnastics. They call it like cheer club, so cheerleading, which is basically a form of gymnastics. You still can learn flips and things like that there. And then also tumble classes, they might be called. So perhaps I wasn't looking in the right places, but yeah, it was really difficult. And then recently I've started going to a group class, which is a mixture between having coaches, but they also let you do what you want a lot of the time. And that's really, really popular because there's just not that many places, even in a big city. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting so desperate at one point that I was thinking, could I pass for 16 years old? Because there's so many gymnastics kind of clubs and things about, but they're always for girls under 16. And I'm like, gone are those days. Gosh, I remember getting ID'd when I was like 28. And then I hit 30 and then it just all hit me. And I really noticed myself aging in the mirror, and that's a big thing. If you can notice that your face is changing day to day, you must be aging at a rapid rate. But it doesn't matter. I'm just happy to be alive at 30, and I'm stronger, more flexible and more mobile than I've ever been. But I really want to take it more seriously because I'm really enjoying the mixed classes. I go with my friends, sometimes a few members of my family come, and it's just a really lovely place where we can let loose. And now I really want to get, as someone who does have quite a high fear factor, and I don't want to gain bad habits where if I fall really badly once, even if I don't get injured, that will sort of stay in my head and inhibit me from doing anything ever again. I don't know why I'm sitting on the stairs. I find it comfortable. I also want to prove that you can take up gymnastics at any age, and that strength, flexibility, mobility, new gymnastic skills are something that can be acquired at any age. I found the warm-ups in the group sessions super interesting because they involved a lot of stretching and flexibility stuff, things that I was doing anyway at the gym myself, but also things that I hadn't done since I was 10. So roly-polies, do you remember those bad boys? The roly-poly? Backwards roly-poly into a handstand, cartwheels, you know, all these things that I do now, but I guess most of us only have a memory of us doing those things when we were children. And so that was really nice as well, because it brings you back that innocence and wonder that we had as a child. And yeah, that wonder is still there. It's still deep inside me, and I just really want to get better. I'm gagging to learn. I just don't know where to begin. It's super overwhelming for me, but also super fun. I'd also suggest that if you're like me and you're scared of everything, don't be shy in asking the instructors or the helpers, the coaches there, just to spot you. I know I'm light anyway, but it was so helpful to get one of the guys just to flip me over a couple of times, or even before flipping me over, just talk to me and be like,
it's okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, and don't worry, you're not going to die.
Because when I finally relaxed a little bit and allowed them to flip me over, it allowed my body to gain muscle memory, so that when I was going to try the move by myself, I already had that memory of having done it before with assistance. You know your body better than anyone else, especially now as an adult. That's what we've got over the kids. We've had many years of experience with our bodies, so we know how far we can push ourselves and how far we feel we can do that per session. And that's something that I've taught myself as well, just having little chats with myself, like if there is something that's too scary for me to do perhaps in that session, maybe building up like the mental image and trying to imagine me doing that, and then setting a goal for myself that maybe next time, like next week when I go back, I'll be doing that. And that's what I did. I always left the public session feeling, I say always, I've only had 4 sessions, but in the 4 sessions I've had, I always leave that session thinking, okay, cool, I've done one thing that I was a little bit scared of. And that makes me really excited to go for the next session. It's like a little bit risky. You'll see these videos and not think it's risky at all. But for me, it was a big thing. That's what I want to try and convey. And I know a lot of adults who are curious about gymnastics and who would like to start have the same fear too. That's why I'm sharing it with you. If even doing a roly-poly instills fear in you, don't worry, I'm not judging at all. My heart rate spiked a little bit that first session when they were like, we'll be doing roly-polies. I was like, oh, I don't like being on my head at all. There are many things that you can do, including roly-polies, by yourself in the gym. You can practice lots of stuff just on the ground, lots of flexibility stuff that's going to make learning any new tumbles or handsprings or whatever gymnastic skill you want to learn much easier if you have increased flexibility. So like I said, with me and my spine, I'm very lucky that I've been working on that a little bit, and naturally I have quite a flexible spine, so that's really helped that's really helped in my walkovers, for example. It might be something different for you. I really believe you can do anything you set your mind to, but even if you don't have a skill in mind and you just want to try for the sake of trying, then just go for it. Life's too short, eh? And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Ciao!